Now, as we know, if you've been watching the news, Antifa and Black Lives Matter have been blocking intersections and roads on a regular basis, pulling people out of cars, kicking the shit out of them, causing traffic backups, not letting ambulances and fire trucks through. I mean, all kinds of fucked up shit. All right, now they've also been attacking courthouses and other police stations in various other areas of the country. And some of these attacks have been going on for almost a year. It has been reported to me, and this is just rumor control, that Antifa and BLM are training for direct action operations. That's not a good thing. All right, and one of the main reasons they're moving up to this level is the media keeps presenting the propaganda to keep the divide growing. No militias have come out and burned down shit, killed anybody, okay, haven't burned cities. That has not happened. The people that are doing that is Antifa and BLM. Period. All right, so you have them losing power. You have the media basically lying to everyone, giving them propaganda or the illusion of all this negativity that's going on. And you have Antifa training for direct action missions, raising hundreds of millions of dollars, and has basically all the professional sports and mainstream media and big tech on their side. What do you think is going to happen? It's not going to go anywhere good, especially when these guys are gone.
Now, before I begin, I just want to leave a disclaimer stating that I create fiction. I work with puppets, for God's sakes, so that anything I say here that may resemble real-life events, whether past, present, or future, is purely coincidental. To the glowies, I know nothing. Now, say that I've received word from trusted contacts that Antifa is training for something bigger than what we've seen last summer. Perhaps not a riot this time, but a sophisticated terrorist attack. Now, as I've stated before, most members truly believe that their efforts are helping to destroy an oppressive system. But if they, hypothetically speaking of course, are receiving military-grade training from federal agents, the very system itself, then there has to be a very logical explanation for the apparent cognitive dissonance, perhaps an unspoken ulterior motive. And on the surface, this would seem counterintuitive, since the current administration, who had actively supported BLM and Antifa last year as they burned down mostly small businesses across America, in order to blame the economic downturn on the sitting president just before a federal election, has by now successfully purged most of the patriots from the federal level this year, including from our military, or at least they think. So it would seem that allowing Antifa to further sow chaos in the streets would only serve as an albatross around Biden's neck, even jeopardizing the uniparty for future state and local elections. However, if a large-scale terrorist attack were to occur on American soil again, one that was as equally tragic as September 11th, then certain federal emergency powers, through recent executive order, could very well be enacted, even going so far as to declare nationwide martial law and possibly nullifying the Second Amendment for those declared either suspects, or at least their affiliates, while corporate media would follow suit in concocting a narrative that somehow the attackers were so-called white supremacist Trump supporters. The same goddamn retarded association fallacy that they've been regurgitating ad nauseum since 2015, thus condemning many patriot activist movements, independent journalists, and constitutionally protected militias that are currently swelling in membership with disaffected ex-military, under bullshit charges of terrorism, espionage, and insurrection by mere proxy. And if the general public were to become as shocked and awed by the upcoming terrorist attack as they were almost 20 years ago during one fine September morning, then the public may outwardly support whatever militant and draconian measures that our current administration would dare to employ against Biden's political rivals. And, just like George Bush Jr., yet another incompetent puppet would be propped up as our new national hero through a top-down manufactured status quo and be given carte blanche powers that would grossly run anathema to constitutional edict, further eroding the public faith in said constitution, all in the name of restoring peace and finally returning back to some nostalgic normal once again, but with even fewer liberties for us peons than before this totally unsuspected attack was made, and those lost liberties will never return again peacefully. The results will be far worse than the Patriot Act. Perhaps even far worse than all of the American casualties suffered during those subsequent 20-year wars in Afghanistan and Iraq combined. Because if at least half of our republic were to instead outright reject the corporate media lies who are trying to shift the blame of these upcoming terrorist attacks from woke communists to conservative patriots, the same way they've been trying to pin the recent rash of black teenage assaults against Asians on white supremacy, then this scenario would most likely be the final societal breaking point. If there were ever a reason for the boogaloo to finally commence, this would be it.